When I first started medical school, I was honestly surprised to see how many people still use paper notes to revise all the content. I've seen a few people trying to get into Anki, but they've given up because it was either too complicated or they don't know how to set things up. So in this video, I'm going to go through exactly how I use Anki, how to set it up, and how to make it work for you. Now, before we get started, what is Anki and why is it so effective? Anki is a digital flashcard app that utilizes active recall and spaced repetition. In simple terms, this just means that you're constantly testing yourself with Anki, pulling information from your brain, which makes information stick a lot longer. And spaced repetition means you review the flashcards right before you forget them, making revision a lot more efficient. I actually used Anki to revise for my A-levels, and it's what helped me get the grades I needed to get into medical school. And it also helped me pass my first medical school exam. So I would highly recommend learning how to use Anki, but also learning how to use it effectively. Now that you know what Anki is and why it's so effective for revision, let's go to exactly how to set it up and also how to use it as well. So once you download Anki from the website, you may have something that looks like this, but you may be missing a few things. For example, you may not have these decks. These are ones that I've created myself. And this grid thing is a plugin which I'll show you how to get later on. Okay, so before we begin, you need to decide whether you would want to make your own Anki flashcards or use someone else's. If you decide to use someone else's, then you can import their Anki flashcards by clicking this import file at the bottom. But if you're just getting started with Anki, I would recommend you making your own flashcards just so you get used to the whole learning process and develop the skill of knowing how to make good flashcards, which is really important. So if you want to create your own flashcards, you need to first create a deck, which you can do by clicking this create deck button at the bottom. So let me click on that, and it will ask you for a deck name. For this video, I will just call this tutorial. Okay, and as you can see, we've just created it here. Now the deck is where all your flashcards are going to be located. You can create multiple decks for like different subjects, which is really useful for keeping things organized. Now this is where we actually start adding our flashcards. Now to do that, what you want to do is click on the deck where you want to create flashcards for. So I'll click on tutorial, and then you click on add. Doing this, make sure that whenever you're creating flashcards, it will create flashcards for the deck you have selected. So you can see how we have type basic and deck tutorial. This is the deck we've just created. Now, when you're creating Anki flashcards, there are really two main types that you want to know. The first is just the basic flashcard. So this is your front where you put your question. For example, what is the function of the mitochondria? And that is for, let's say, ATP synthesis by aerobic respiration. And once you've done that, you can just click on this add button here, and that will add the flashcard to the deck. Now, another flashcard that I would highly recommend is the cloze type of flashcard. So you click on basic in this case, and you scroll down and click on this cloze option. So you click on that and press choose, and cloze flashcards are simply just fill in the blank flashcards. So you may have, let's say, your lecture slides. You can just copy and paste a slide and just fill in the blank for all the key information. For example, I may copy and paste this information from a lecture slide. So the left ventricle has thicker muscle wall than the right ventricle because it pumps blood to the whole body. Now this is how you choose the words you want to fill in the blank for. So for example, I may want left ventricle to be blank. So what I will do is highlight it and then go to this option right here, this 3 dots surrounded by 2 brackets. I'll click on that and it changes this format. So this tells me that when I do my Anki review, this will be blank and I have to record that it's left ventricle. You can do multiple fill in the blanks. So I have the left ventricle, have thicker muscular wall, so I can highlight that and do the same button. And then I could do down the right ventricle because it pumps blood to the whole body. So I would also highlight that and also we press the close button. Now there is also another close button, which is the 3 dots surrounded by square brackets, but it's a plus as well. What this does is that it actually creates a new flashcard. So right now what we just did was we have left ventricle, thicker muscular wall, and whole body all part of one flashcard. If you click on the plus one, it would make a whole new flashcard. So for example, if I get rid of the format for whole body and press the plus one, you can see how it says now C2. So the new flashcard will only hide whole body and will keep the rest of the text. And the first flashcard will just cover left ventricle and thicker muscular wall. This is pretty helpful if you have a lot of information, but usually I would just stick with one flashcard. Now all we do is just press add and I'll add the flashcards. Okay, and as you can see, we created 3 flashcards now. The first one was the basic one and the other 2 were the closed flashcards. Now, if you want to review your Anki flashcards, what you do is you click on decks, which will just take you back to your home menu, and you click on the deck you want to review. So in this case, tutorial, and you just press study now. And as you can see, this is the first flashcard we've made. So what is the function of mitochondria? It's a site of ATP synthesis by aerobic respiration. ATP synthesis by aerobic respiration. So we did get it correct. And now this is how you review Anki flashcards properly. You have 4 options. You have either again, which is where you weren't able to record the answer. So what Anki does is it will show you that same flashcard again in less than 10 minutes until you finally get it. And then the second option is hard. So this is where I may see the flashcard like tomorrow or sometimes even 12 hours. And this option's good if you struggle to record but we're still able to. And then you got the good options where you're able to correctly and completely record the entire flashcard, and in this case I would press good. And then you also have the easy option, and this is the option where you don't see the flashcard again for a lot longer compared to just pressing good. Usually I would avoid pressing easy because you want to make sure you see the flashcard enough just so you get in your long-term memory, unless the answer is like really obvious, where maybe a 1-word answer. In that case, then I would press easy just to overall reduce your Anki flashcards reviews. Okay, so in this case, I'll press good. So you can press either 1 for again, 2 for hard, 3 for good, or 4 for easy, just to make your Anki reviews a bit faster. So in this case, I'll press 3. And then see, now it's moved on to the second flashcard. So the blank has something than the right ventricle because it pumps blood to the whole body. So in this case, it's, let's say I'm not able to record this. So what I do is press the space bar for show answer. And I can see, okay, the left ventricle has a thicker muscular wall. So now I have to make sure I try to remember that when I see the flashcard again. So in this case, since I did not get it, I would press 1. Okay, now it's moved on to the next flashcard. So the left ventricle has thicker muscular wall than the right ventricle because it pumps blood to the whole body. So let's see if I was right. And as you can see, I am right. And let's say I found this question really easy and I already have it in my long-term memory. And in that case, then I would press 4 for easy. So I won't see this flashcard in 6 days. Now I just want to add, you can change the settings to how frequently or less frequently you see the flashcards. You may make it where when you press good for the first time, you see it after 1 day, but if you press hard, you may only see it after 12 hours. And if you want, I can make a whole YouTube video on just like the best Anki settings or just understanding the Anki settings so you can decide what works for you. Okay, so in this case, I'll do easy since I was able to record it. So I'll press 4. And then as you can see, we're back to the second flashcard that we weren't able to record. for this time, I can try to remember it. So it was the left ventricle has a thicker muscular wall than the right ventricle because it pumps blood to the whole body. So let's see if I was able to get it. So yeah, there we go. The left ventricle has a thicker muscular wall than the right ventricle. Since I was now finally able to get it, I can press good and I won't see this flashcard till tomorrow. There. Now, the important thing with Anki is consistency. There is no point just doing Anki one day and then not doing it for the rest of the week, because your flashcards that you review will suddenly build up and then you end up with, like, let's say 400 flashcards to do in one day. So if you want to make sure you're not doing too many flashcards every single day, you have to be consistent. Make sure you complete all the flashcards you're due for each day. Now, my general recommendation is you do 20 to 40 new flashcards every single day. On top of that, all the review flashcards and all the learning flashcards. Now, there's 3 different types of flashcards. As I mentioned, you can see new. This is what you usually see in blue. You got learning. This is orange. So this is the cards where you're still, let's say, just learning it. You're not able to fully recall it and you need to spend a bit more time on it. And the due flashcards, also known as the review flashcards, these are seen in green. And these are flashcards that are in your long-term memory, but you need to review it again just to make sure you don't forget it. And that is the benefit of Anki, because it only shows you flashcards that you're just about to forget, which is spaced repetition. And that ensures that you're able to recall all the information without getting burnt out. And that's why it is important to make sure you're doing these reviews every single day. As you can see from my streak over there, I got almost 1,200 streak now because I've used Anki for A level and I've been using it during my time at university while studying medicine. And it's honestly made revision a lot less stressful and just something that just works. Like, as long as I'm doing my Anki reviews, I know I will be able to pass my exams. So really important to make sure you're doing it every single day. Okay, so you may be wondering, how did I actually get this streak tracker thing? So this thing here is actually called the heatmap add-on, and all it does is that it keeps a streak of all my Anki reviews, and it will tell me if I missed a day. So for example, each of these squares represents a day, and if I hover over today, 130 flashcards that are reviewed on Tuesday, and I can even see how many flashcards I have due tomorrow. So this is the learning and review cards, and I've got 92 due. The thing I like about it is that it really shows a good visual representation of all the Anki flashcards I'm doing. So the yellow means that I've done lots of flashcards, the red means I haven't done much. And you can see over here, this is all red. I haven't really done much Anki since I have taken a gap here and I just wanted to keep the streak. So I was just reviewing random flashcards. But as you can see, it's gone much brighter here because this is when I used Anki during A levels. And yeah, that's when I first started using Anki in, let's say, 2022 Wednesday. And it's really just helped me stay consistent with Anki and just made revision a lot easier. Now, if you want to know how to get this yourself, what you need to do is actually just search up Anki heatmap add-on and click on like the first website you see. And in that website, you can find the code for the heatmap add-on, and to add it to Anki, all you have to do is go back to Anki, click on tools at the top, add-ons, and then click on get add-ons. And all you have to do is just paste the code here and it will add the heatmap add-on. But it will only show up once you restart Anki, and that's when it will come up. And as you can see here, these are all my other add-ons that I have. Some of them I use them a lot, some of them I don't really use. If you want me to make a review on the most helpful Anki add-ons, then definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's about it for that. And that's pretty much the basics for how to get started with Anki. If you're just getting started with Anki, it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed. You might not know what type of flashcards to make or how to stay consistent. But once you build a daily routine, it will become second nature. You will open Anki without even thinking about it, and memorizing content will become a lot easier. So it's definitely worth putting in the time and effort to build that habit. I hope this video helped with getting you to start Anki, and if you found it helpful, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.